Most people leave the military starting to prepare for their civilian career the day they get out. That's already too late. I started preparing the day I went into the Air Force with years left on my contract, and that one decision is the reason that I was able to walk out and eventually get an IT job and then a cybersecurity job. If you're in uniform right now, you are sitting on one of the biggest advantages that you have, and the clock is running. So I was in the Air Force, and almost since the day I got in, I decided I wanted to be in IT, not necessarily cybersecurity, but that was the result of my path. So I didn't wait around. I immediately asked my supervisor, I need to take some online or part-time classes. I used the years I had to stack the deck. I worked and studied to get certifications, to get college credits, to even get hands-on in my position in the job I was in. All of it, ever before I even touched the civilian market. So this works no matter where you even served, whether it's the Army, the Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force, doesn't matter. Same benefits, same discipline, same doors. So whether you're transitioning out right now or if you're still in and thinking ahead, this is the path. These are the exact moves that I'm going to discuss. So the mistake almost everyone makes is treating separation as the starting gun. They run out the clock, then start figuring out the certs, out their resumes, just weeks before getting out or terminal leave. By then, you're competing from a dead stop against people who've already been moving for a year. Flip it. However much time you got left, 6 months, a year, 2 years, that is not just time to be waiting. That's the runway where you got to start ramping up. This is when you start studying, you start getting certified, you start getting your hands-on experience in your job or on your own, all while you're getting a steady paycheck, the structure to actually do it. So I knew I was getting out, so I treated my last stretch like a launch pad. By the time I separated, I wasn't starting, I was just continuing. While you're in, a huge amount of your education is already paid for. Tuition assistance while you're serving, the GI Bill is waiting for afterwards. Most people barely even touch either one. So don't be like most people. Knock out your foundational certs, your college credit, any course that you want that's going to apply to what you plan to do after you get out of the military. So you're not paying out of pocket, you're not starting from zero on the outside. That's actually rungs 1 through 3 on the ladder already funded for you. So I'm not going to go deep into the money mechanics right now because there's a smart order to use these benefits, and that deserves its own video we'll discuss later. For today, just hold this principle. If it's funded and it moves you forward, do it before you get out. So here's where some really quality people quietly lose. Your military experience is real and it's hard earned, but it's written in a language sometimes civilian hiring managers don't really speak. Maintained operational readiness, supported mission-critical communications. To a hiring manager, reading a stack of resume, that doesn't really mean much. So you have to translate this military speak. Every system you touched, every process you ran, every security adjacent task, rewrite it in a civilian way of speaking so that civilians can understand what you actually did. If you monitored networks, say you monitored networks. If you managed accounts and access management, well, that's identity and access management, so say that. And the soft stuff is a hard advantage for you. You show up on time, you follow a process under pressure, you don't quit when it gets miserable, and most career switchers don't have that. So don't hide your skills, don't hide that talent, sell it. So here's a big one. If you have an active or recent security clearance, understand exactly what you're holding. There is an entire layer of this field, whether it's contractors, defense, agencies, that's locked out to everyone else that doesn't have a security clearance. A clearance can move your resume straight to the top of a pile, sometimes ahead of people that have more experience than you. Two things to know. Don't let it lapse if you can help it. And the window to cash it in starts the day you separate. I've got a full video going into the details of the security clearance. Because timed right, it can be the single fastest door into paying for your security role. I've got a full video coming up on this later because timed right, it can be the single fastest door into a paid security role for you. So for now, if you've got it, it is not a footnote in your resume, it's actually the headline. It's got to be up there in your summary. So here's what ties all of this together that I learned by actually living it. The reason I walked into IT work instead of scrambling wasn't necessarily talent. It was that I was prepared early. I translated my experience into civilian language before anyone asked me to. I led with my advantages instead of hiding them. The version of me that waited until separation to start figuring this world out would have been 6 months behind, sending out a resume full of military jargon or wondering why nobody called back. You already have the discipline to do the hard version of this. Most people don't. Point it at the right runway in front of you. So that's the path, but there's a wall still waiting that stops even the most qualified people. You can do everything right and you can still get nothing but rejection emails. Subscribe because the next videos I'm going to be breaking down exactly why you're getting rejected on your resume for cybersecurity jobs, even though you're qualified. And it's almost never your skills. Whatever branch you served, let's get you off that help desk. Let's get you into the cybersecurity career field and the place you deserve to be.